guys, this is Nikki, and we are once again on location in Jacksonville, Florida with Ron and his sister Barbara, and we're going to do the Ask Ron for this week here at the Aloft Hotel during the implementation boot camp.
Yep, this is BJ.
Hi everyone.
She's one of our mentors. She's also my sister, and she's also writing an article for you in the monthly magazine. I just read it. It's a great article, incidentally. Be on the lookout for that, on how you should quit eating all the crap you're eating and start thinking like you want to live. In fact, she points out very clearly in there why we're eating ourselves to death. So be on the lookout for that, and you'll see a place to join her weekly newsletter as well, where she gives you tips. In fact, I just joined it myself. So
Right.
she's on a mission to make me eat better. And she does have her work cut out for her, I'll tell you that. So if she can convert me, we're going to convert all of you. All right. What's the questions, Nikki?
Okay, first question is from Joe in Pennsylvania. And Joe's question is, in the first video from your Terms Lesson series, you mentioned that ownership transfers during a wraparound mortgage along with the land contract, but the deed only transfers with the wrap. How is ownership transferred with the land contract if the deed stays with the seller until the balance is paid?
You want to take that?
Well, that's your expertise. I do wraparound mortgages.
It's all my expertise, just for the record.
Okay. Now I'll let you do it.
All right. A wraparound mortgage, you're right, Joe, incidentally. A wraparound mortgage does transfer the deed and ownership, but a land contract transfers ownership. It's the law. It's that simple. It's the law. A land contract or a contract for deed means you've sold the house, even though the deed stays with the seller. I don't know how else to answer it, but believe me, you have sold the house. Ownership legally transfers with the land contract, even though the deed stays with the seller. Keep in mind, though, when you pay that land contract off, they are obligated by law to deed that property to you at that time.
All right, then question number 2 is from Brian in Florida, and he actually has 2 questions.
All right.
The first question is, I'm having a bit of trouble determining what's a prospect and what's a suspect in the ugly and pretty house business. Can you please help?
Wow. Okay. Well, let's see. I've got a wholesaling course that took 2 days to record to answer the ugly house side. I got a new terms course coming out on the 6th that answers the pretty house side. Well, let's see what we can do here. That took 2 days as well. So let me see if I can answer your question in 20 seconds. A prospect on the ugly house side is a property that you can buy cheap because you're paying all cash for it. Cheap meaning probably half of its after repaired value, give or take. A prospect on the pretty house side means that the seller will do terms. No terms, no deal. If they said yes, they would consider a lease purchase or owner financing, or if they'll sell a house to you for what they owe on it, they're a prospect. That's the long and the short of it. Now you have to take the scripts right out of my course coming up and ask them a few more questions, like, would they sell it with nothing down and what the lowest payment and so forth is. And once you get the answers to those questions, you know whether you want to go to the house or not, and then get an agreement signed. The sellers make you the offer, Brian. You just ask the questions that are right in the course and let them give you the answers, and you'll quickly know whether you want to go to the house or not.
In fact, Ron's just created a new script called a no script. That's really helpful. So it couldn't get any easier. In fact, I use that script all the time because when I find out that I ask the question and they say yes to owner financing or yes to lease purchase, sometimes they want a little bit more information.
Right.
So if you'll just take that script and use it and read it, and that'll give them all the information they need right there. So you're fully equipped with all the scripts, even if they say no.
So there's a no script in your course if they say no to terms or if they need more explanation on what you're talking about.
All right, the second part of Brian's question is, I'm active duty military and will be sent across the country for training shortly, but I'm trying to set up my business to run on autopilot while I'm away. Do you have any advice on how to accomplish this, especially when it comes to putting eyes on potential deals?
Well, it seems that's exactly what you specialize in, isn't it, Ron? The less I do, the more I make.
That's what I want you to do. First of all, thank you for your service, Brian. And second of all, I would like everybody to set their business up so they can run it from another state. I could very easily, because all I do in my business is make decisions. That's all I do. The rest of it is done by VAs or outsourced companies like Pat Live or Christy, who does the yellow letters for us. And all we do is sit there and make decisions. That's all I do. I decide whether I want the seller's deal or not after the VAs have called them, and one of my staff has called them back in my case. And usually, sometimes I don't even get in on that, because a deal is a deal in the pretty house business. Terms are terms. In the ugly house business, I decide what I'm going to pay for the property from my iPad. I could be sitting all the way across the country and making the same offer. It doesn't make any difference where I'm at. However, you are going to need boots on the ground, Brian. Somebody's got to go look at the houses, and somebody's got to put out the signs and things like that. So wherever you're doing business from, you don't want to do business where you don't have boots on the ground. However, boots on the ground not hard to find. I mean, you can just get somebody you know or you meet or a realtor on site and pay them a little bit to do all that running around grunt work for you. And somebody's got to show the house, meaning somebody's got to put the key under the mat like we do. The house shows itself. And then somebody's got to actually meet the buyer. But all of that can be done from a distance. And you can get on the phone with a buyer and determine whether you want them after Paul Ritter has done all of the preliminary pre-screen them for you at screenthetenant.com. So listen, I do business in Jacksonville personally, but I also have students around the country that I'm partnering with. They do the boots on the ground. I do the consulting and the real deep brain work. And honestly, it doesn't make any difference whether they're a partner or not. They could be doing the same thing for me.
Yes, and Ron's actually implemented a new plan called Field Agents, where you can put ads on Craigslist and get field agents to bring you for sale by owner signs in the neighborhood, a picture of the house. They're doing all the groundwork for you, and it's working out really well. And speaking of automation, we're here at the Implementation Boot Camp, and it couldn't be more automated than that. It's fabulous. Your website's being created for you, your Facebook page. It's tying in.
How many leads?
Hundreds of leads.
We had a Pat Live account set up for everybody here that came, and my geeks literally yesterday, of course, it's probably going up by now, literally drove in 205 FSBO leads, drove them to Pat Live for the students, and they didn't even know they were getting them till they arrived here. Then our VAs followed up and called them. BJ's been calling them back all day yesterday and today, and we put together a ton of deals just from everybody else do all of the work.
I am amazed at the amount of yes answers that we've gotten. I've gotten so many leads I can't call them all, and I've already gotten the students dozens of deals, and I'm still calling, but I'm just literally blown away at the amount of leads that have come in, and it's all on automation. What they're doing here is setting up your website, getting Callfire established, getting your Pat Live account, your Facebook page, and the leads are just coming in, and that's what you wanted to know about how you automate your business. Well, this is what you do. You put these systems in place, and you let the system work for you, right, Ron?
Yes. Set aside January 6th, the evening of January 6th, all of you. I'm going to be doing a webinar that night, and that's where I'm going to release my new terms course. This is going to help you big time automate your business. But then I want you in quick start as fast as you can, and there's even going to be a credit to help you upgrade to that if you want to, or you'll be able to upgrade right on the spot and get a really good deal. We're going to play that webinar at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on January the 6th. So make sure you set aside that time. Don't let anything interfere with it. Nothing. If it's your child's birthday party, have it the next night or the previous night, because I want you on January the 6th. Automation starts with you learning exactly what you need to automate, tapping into the sources to get it done, and systematically put it in place. Within 30 days, you can be totally automated. In fact, even less. All right.
All right. Another question is from Derek in Maryland.
Derek.
With the new terms course, how should I tell a seller I will assign the agreement back to them after I have subleased it to a tenant buyer?
Derek, I usually don't even have that conversation with the seller, because honestly, you don't know what you're going to do till you find the tenant buyer. You may want to stay in it. And even if you want to assign it back, why don't you stay in it, collect a few payments, then decide if you want to assign it back. There's no rush. At that point, you just tell the seller there's no reason for me to stay in this. And I would imagine you'd prefer to collect directly from the buyer so you'd have more control, wouldn't you? And the answer is almost always going to be yes. And by the way, if it isn't yes, then go ahead and stay in it. What's it hurt? Collect a payment, make a payment. It's not a big deal. It'd probably do you more good than harm.
Okay, our final question is from Mary Ann in California.
Good old Mary Ann.
And she says, can you explain how you constructed a wraparound mortgage like you did for your deal on lesson number 2 of your terms videos?
Mary Ann, I don't know what that means. I explained what I did. You're going to have to tell me what you don't understand about that. I simply told the seller I'd pay them under the same terms and conditions as their underlying mortgage. The attorney created the documentation. That's all you should be concerned about. I did have an amortization schedule on their seller's loan pulled. Actually, I got it from them. And I attached that to the new note that I created from my land trust to my seller. And the note says that this loan will be paid based on the following amortization schedule, which is recorded and attached to the note, so that my principal and interest payment is the same as the underlying loan. Other than that, if you'd be more specific, I'll try to get at the heart of what the question really is.
And Mary Ann, it's all done in your purchase and sale agreement. There's a section there 2B that describes the owner financing, that describes the terms of the wraparound mortgage. And if you look in your quick start book, you'll see examples of how he's filled that out for you and examples that apply for a wraparound mortgage.
All right, that it?
That's the last question.
Okay, guys, all have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy yourselves, have some fun, take care of your family. Also, well, if I don't see you before New Year's, do the same, as I may or may not. My wife's got me going over to the Beau Rivage over in Biloxi over the New Year's holiday, so you may never see me again. So, see you soon.
Bye.